What could have been a masterclass in storytelling quickly unraveled into an on-air mess. Morgan Freeman. Yes, the Morgan Freeman walked into that studio with decades of wisdom, cinematic brilliance, and that voice that commands a room without raising a volume. Viewers expected depth, reflection, maybe even a few secrets from behind the curtain of Hollywood history. But instead of celebrating his iconic journey, The View took a bizarre detour. Gone was the opportunity for real conversation. In its place, surface-level chatter and clumsy attempts at playful controversy. The hosts fumbled their chance almost as if they didn't realize who was sitting across from them. Freeman, ever the professional, stayed composed, watching as the moment slowly slipped into chaos. And just when it looked like the segment might finally recover, they cut it short. Audiences were stunned. Social media lit up with confusion, frustration, and disbelief. How do you squander a moment like that? But here's the part that truly defines Freeman. He didn't scold, didn't storm off, didn't play into their awkward scramble. He silenced the nonsense with calm precision, his quiet confidence delivering the ultimate mic drop. We're breaking down every second of that unforgettable moment and the subtle, powerful way Freeman took control without saying a word to many. Stick around. This one's legendary.
I'm one of those people who's very, very interested in this subject, life on the planet. You understand that today, life on the planet is in a little bit of trouble. And we're the cause of it.
That's right.
There have been, if I remember correctly, 6 extinction-level events on the planet since life began. I mean, 6 times. Large portions of life. Not human life we're talking. We're talking just life. Gone, destroyed. We're headed for a...
Morgan Freeman walked onto the set with the quiet authority only he possesses, ready to share something extraordinary. He wasn't there to promote a blockbuster or chase headlines. He came to talk about life on our planet, his latest project. With Netflix, a breathtaking documentary that plunges viewers into Earth's ancient, untamed history. This isn't your average nature show. It's a cinematic odyssey through millions of years, revealing the rise and fall of species so strange, so magnificent, they feel almost mythical. From the fiery chaos of mass extinction events to the improbable tales of survival that followed, every frame feels like a window into a forgotten world. The visuals are nothing short of stunning. But what gives the series its real soul, its gravity, is Freeman himself. Unlike other climate documentaries that lead with doom and urgency, Freeman brings something different. He doesn't preach, he reflects. His narration is calm, deeply human, and rooted in perspective. He reminds us that long before humans ever arrived, Earth was already dancing through cycles of destruction and renewal. It's not a denial of danger, it's a reminder of the planet's profound resilience, but not everyone was ready for that kind of wisdom. Enter Joy Behar. Before Freeman could finish laying out his thoughts, she pounced, her tone sharp, her interruption jarring. It was as if she'd been waiting, not to listen, but to challenge. In one breath, the air shifted. What had been a thoughtful moment suddenly turned tense, and all eyes went to Freeman, wondering how he'd respond to this unexpected jab.
Well, it's tenacious if we would just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And the human interruption of all of that is what's causing all the problems. I hope that it's not too late. But let me ask you this, Jim. Did seeing the rise and fall of all these species, because some are coming in too, right? And many are leaving the planet. Did that change your perspective on life?
My perspective on life, I don't think it changed my perspective. It just enhanced it. Because for a long time now, I've been listening to what they say about, I drive an electric car.
When Morgan Freeman is asked real questions, when he's given the room to breathe, something extraordinary happens. His words don't just fill the air, they settle in your bones. This is a man who hasn't merely watched history unfold, he's lived through its storms, spoken truth to its silence, and immortalized it through roles that shaped entire generations. Freeman isn't reciting lines. He's offering perspective forged in fire through decades of experience, transformation, and reflection. He's seen Hollywood evolve from the inside out and has been one of the few to truly move the needle. His voice doesn't command respect because it's deep and iconic. It does because it's earned word by word, role by role, truth by truth. And yet, The View had all of that sitting across from them and still managed to fumble the moment. With Freeman right there, ready to speak truth, they chose shallow over substance. It wasn't just a missed opportunity, it was a collapse in slow motion. Moments like this don't come around often. And when they're wasted, people notice. So now, the floor is yours. What did you take from this moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was it ignorance? Was it fear of depth? Or just another talk show letting noise drown out meaning? If this hit a nerve, share it. Let the conversation spread because silence, especially around voices like Freeman's, isn't just a mistake. It's a loss. And believe me, this story's far from over.
I want to ask you about a different documentary.
Go ahead.
As some politicians around the country try to erase Black history, you're making sure people don't forget vital parts of our past, including this documentary that you executive produced called 761st. Did I get that right? Yeah, 761st Tank Battalion, the original Black Panthers, about the first Black battalion to fight in World War II.
First Black Armored Battalion.
Yes, and you served in the Air Force. I know that. This film was then very personal to you.
Oh, yes, heaven. Start in the 40s and move up. And how many times did I see Black people in the movies? And if I did see them, what were they doing?
There were servants.
Servants.
They were always. I
Yeah.
know it's appalling.
I can give you the name.
If you watch old movies, Betty Davis movies are particularly, even though she's great, and
It's the period
it's not her
of time
fault.
that
It's
the
the
movies
period.
were made.
Yeah.
It's
just
upsetting
what they
to
were
watch.
doing.
Tell you the
Well,
truth.
it shouldn't be that way
It is.
because somebody did make money.
You could almost hear Morgan Freeman's thoughts, even though he said so little. That faint smirk, the steady gaze, the air of a man who'd seen the world spin a few too many times, it all spoke louder than any monologue. When Joy Behar lobbed her usual brand of dramatic oversimplification, Freeman didn't flinch. No raised voice, no flashy rebuttal, just calm, razor-sharp resistance that sliced straight through the noise. It wasn't just a disagreement. It was the breaking point of a tension that's been quietly brewing for years. You see, for over a decade, mainstream media has dialed climate panic up to 11 as if a screaming siren with no off switch could somehow inspire change. Remember 2019? Headlines declared that 11,000 scientists had warned of untold human suffering. That phrase alone sparked global hysteria. But dig beneath the panic-inducing headline, and what you found was something else entirely. Hidden in the fine print were proposals that felt more like a manifesto than a solution. Drastic carbon taxes that would gut working families, severe limits on meat consumption, and calls to curb global population growth. Translation? Say goodbye to your car, your burger, your AC, and possibly your freedom to have a second child, all in the name of saving the planet. And yet, the loudest advocates for this vision continue to tour the globe in private jets, sipping champagne mid-flight while scolding ordinary folks for firing up a backyard grill. The hypocrisy is staggering. The irony? Practically comical. Apparently, searing a steak is now an environmental hate crime. So if you're flipping burgers this weekend, do it like Freeman, calm, unbothered, and unapologetic. And if you feel like it, tap that like button too. But just when the air was thick with tension, Sunny chimed in and out of every thoughtful, meaningful question she could have asked the living legend. She picked that.
That's the time.
Was
Now look at today, things are, we're always in flux.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh, we've always been here.
Yeah?
Fluxing out.
Flux. Exactly.
I had a question, but we run out of time. Listen, this is extraordinary, this documentary.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Seriously, Morgan Freeman, one of the most respected, iconic, and thoughtful voices in Hollywood. A living legend sat right there in front of them. And that's the question Sunny decided to ask. You almost have to admire the precision with which They missed the entire point. What could have been a thoughtful, legacy-level conversation turned into a clumsy, tone-deaf moment of embarrassment. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the episode mysteriously vanished from The View's official YouTube channel. Gone. Scrubbed. As if it never happened. But here's the thing, this is the internet. You can't just hit delete and expect silence. Between the Wayback Machine and a million screen recordings, the clip is very much alive. In fact, trying to bury it only made it louder. And what exactly were they trying to cover? It's not subtle. That segment exposed a painfully awkward, heavy-handed attempt at race baiting, and it unraveled in real time. Let's talk about Sunny for a moment. One quick scroll through Morgan Freeman's past interviews would have told her everything she needed to know. He's been consistent for years. Black history is American history. No dramatics, no division. Just a clear, unshakable truth. But that didn't fit the narrative she was trying to force. So instead of showing up prepared, she jumped in blind. And what followed was a train wreck. Then Joy Behar swooped in, somehow managing to look more offended than people who've actually lived through systemic injustice. The irony was unreal. Her reaction to Freeman's calm, grounded reply, utter disbelief like he'd just flipped her script without raising his voice. Cue Whoopi. As usual, she stepped in like a studio fire marshal, trying to contain the blaze. But by then, it was too late. The damage was done and the internet had already pressed record.
I don't think there is an issue of race in Hollywood. Somewhere back there in the 70s, the decision was made by almost all and sundry that we have to start open casting. Now, if you look on television, you pretty much see the range of cultural, that's not the right word because we all belong to the same culture. We just, anyway, but you see everybody. And I think that Hollywood learned in the 70s, all right, here's reality. Isaac Davis directed a movie called Cotton Comes to Harlem. It made hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, Hollywood is colorblind. It only sees green.
Right on cue, they pulled out the oldest trick in the TV playbook. We're running out of time. Maybe it was technically true, but let's be honest. It felt less like a schedule issue and more like a convenient escape hatch. A button they hit when things get too fast. And wasting Morgan Freeman's presence like that wasn't just disappointing, it was downright disrespectful. This isn't some B-list celebrity making the promo rounds. This is Morgan Freeman, a living legend, a voice that has narrated both film and philosophy, a man whose very presence commands attention. And what did they offer him? 6 rushed, chaotic minutes. No depth, no insight, no real engagement. Just a string of awkward, shallow questions that danced around the real conversation everyone wanted to hear. And meanwhile, we've all seen how much airtime they give to far less impactful guests, letting them ramble on with stories no one will remember. The contrast? Blinding. They had gold in the room, and they treated it like filler content. To make matters worse, the segment didn't just fall flat, it vanished, yanked from The View's YouTube channel like it never existed. But Freeman? He didn't stay silent. Shortly after, he appeared at the Oxford Union, and that's when everything changed. With his trademark calm, deliberate delivery, Freeman unpacked the entire incident. No drama, no shouting, just surgical truth. He clarified the message that Sunny and Joy had fumbled so badly, and he did it with the kind of quiet force that stops you in your tracks. That moment didn't just land, it echoed. And if you haven't seen the clip yet, do yourself a favor, it's one of the most powerful mic drop moments you'll witness all week.